Hello again, everybody. Welcome to the Backbone Podcast, where common sense still makes sense in a world that is sick and only getting sicker. Hope you had a great weekend. Today, we come to you with not sad news. Not sad news. It's going to be the celebration of one of America's greatest actors and the passing of the great Robert Duvall, the Oscar-winning actor, dead at the age of 95. We all know the roles: Godfather, Godfather 2, Apocalypse Now, uh, Tender Mercies. He wins the Academy Award for that, and countless others. He was a wonderful, wonderful actor who had this versatility to be the quiet consigliere of the Godfather and a maniac colonel in Apocalypse Now. He was in a film called The Apostle, where he plays one of these preachers. It was almost as if he morphed into that preacher. The way the chanting and the way these guys preach on stage, not stage, well, it is a stage, to their congregation. He was magnificent in all these movies. Even those Lonesome Dove things, and I kind of like those cowboy movies. He was brilliant at it. It was so believable. He was wonderful in a movie called Open Range with Kevin Costner. There's a great shootout scene at the end. Little long movie, but he was just great in it. He was great in everything. And the way he held up with Brando and Pacino and all those guys in The Godfather, he was the man. Duvall didn't necessarily have the leading man looks, but he had what few character actors enjoy, and that is a very long, rewarding career in leading and in supporting roles. He began his career, of course, in 1962. He was in the brilliant film To Kill a Mockingbird. And from there, Duvall created a gallery of unforgettable portrayals. He earned seven Academy Award nominations. And as we said, he wins for Tender Mercies in 1983. Tender Mercies, if you don't know, he was like, he plays this down and out country music singer who, kind of makes it big again, kind of makes a comeback. He also won 4 Golden Globes, including one for playing the cattle drive boss in the 1989 miniseries Lonesome Dove, a role that he had said in many interviews was his favorite. He just looked like one of these rustling cowboys. But everybody will remember him for his role in The Godfather, released in 1972. It established him as one of the most in-demand performers in Hollywood. He had worked with Coppola in a film called The Rain People. James Caan was also in that movie. And the director chose him as Tom Hagen in the mafia epic that featured Pacino, De Niro, among others. He was, as I said, he stood firm. He stood firm in that movie on screen with those giants. That's not something that's easy to do. He did it with grace. He was tremendous. And in Apocalypse Now, as we said, we talked about his versatility. Duvall was wildly out front. He was the embodiment of a deranged, ultra-masculine Lieutenant Colonel Bill Kilgore. who enjoyed not only the war in Vietnam, but he enjoyed surfing and bombing raids on the Viet Cong. And Duvall required a few takes for this most famous passage in the movie that we will show you later. That is, it's part of film lore. It's just iconic. It's of course the iconic film part here that I will show you that everybody remembers, everybody enjoys, and everybody recites. And here is a piece of Robert Duvall as Colonel Kilgore.
Smell that? You smell that? Napalm, son. Nothing else in the world smells like that. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. You know, one time we had a hail bomb for 12 hours. When it was all over, I woke up. We didn't find one of them, not one stinking dink body. The smell, you know, that gasoline smell, the whole hill. It smelled like victory. Someday this war's gonna end.
Masterful, like he wasn't even trying. Like he wasn't even trying. And we don't have actors like this today anymore. These young guys just don't have that charisma, that way of commanding a screen, the delivery. Do you notice that when the bomb went off there, all the other soldiers or characters in the screen, they kind of flinched, but not him, because it was a symbol that he was so numb to the war, so numb to the battles and the bombs and the bodies, that he was just, it didn't affect him anymore. That's what his character was like. He was, of course, if you saw Apocalypse Now, the Martin Sheen character steals his surfboard and he goes on a manic search for the surfboard. That's the only thing he cared about. He cared about the surfboard. He didn't give a shit about the war. He didn't give a shit about how many of his guys died or how many Viet Cong died or Vietnamese died. He cared about that surfboard. That was the disconnect in reality. That movie was as brilliant as it gets, and you won't be able to make a movie like that today. Thankfully, Duvall died peacefully at his home Sunday in Middleburg, Virginia. We should all be so lucky. He is survived by his wife, Lucinda. I don't know how many children he had. I didn't go do a deep dive into that. But he was an actor that he did his role and he went home. You didn't hear about his politics. You didn't hear about any of these crazy, side projects like humanitarian thing. He was an actor, old school, real man, and we're gonna miss him. But he lived 95 brilliant years, especially in his career that spanned almost 60. So adieu to you, Robert Duvall. You gave us some great memories. You gave us some great characters, and you gave us some great lines. And you will live forever because of your films, because of your characters. We will see him all the time. Anytime you put The Godfather on, you will see Robert Duvall in there. And there's my 2 cents. Thanks again for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. And remember, my friends, Satan is always busy. Be a man and have a backbone, because masculinity and common sense are worth standing up for. And remember, if it ends in an ism, it's a mental disorder. We'll see you later.